Today we're continuing to read The Pilgrim's Progress. They had them also to a place where they saw one full and one with washing of an Ethiopian with intention to make him white. But the more they washed him, the blacker he was. Then they asked the shepherds what that should mean. So they told them, saying, Thus shall it be with the vile person. All means used to get such an one a good name shall in the end tend but to make him more abominable. Thus it was with the Pharisees, and so shall it be with all pretenders to religion. Then said Mercy, the wife of Matthew, to Christiana her mother, Mother, I would, if it might be, see the hole in the hill, or that commonly called the byway to hell. So her mother brake her mind to the shepherds. Then they went to the door, but it was in the side of a hill, and they opened it and bid Mercy hearken a while. So she hearkened, and heard one saying, Cursed be my father for holding of my feet back from the way of peace and life. And another said, Oh, that I had been torn in pieces before I had, to save my life, lost my soul. And another said, If I were to live again, how would I deny myself rather than come to this place? Then there was, as if the very earth groaned and quaked under the feet of this young woman for fear. So she looked white and came trembling away, saying, Blessed be he and she that are delivered from this place. Now when the shepherds had shown them all these things, then they had them back to the palace, and entertained them with what the house would afford. But Mercy longed for something that she saw there, but was ashamed to ask. Her mother-in-law then asked her what she ailed, for she looked as one not well. Then said Mercy, There is a looking-glass hangs up in the dining room, off of which I cannot take my mind. If therefore I have it not, I think I shall be unhappy. Then said her mother, I will mention thy wants to the shepherds, and they will not deny it thee. But she said, I am ashamed that these men should know that I longed. Nay, my daughter, said she, it is no shame, but a virtue, to long for such a thing as that. So Mercy said, Then, mother, if you please, ask the shepherds if they are willing to sell it. Now the glass was one of 1,000. It would present a man one way, with his own features exactly, and turn it but another way, and it would show one the very face and likeness of the Prince of Pilgrims himself. Yeah, I have talked with them that can tell, and they have said that they have seen the very crown of thorns upon his head by looking in that glass. They have therein also seen the holes in his hands, in his feet, and in his side. Yeah, such an excellency is there in this glass, that it will show him to one where they have a mind to see him, whether living or dead, whether in earth or in heaven, whether in a state of lowliness or in his kingliness, whether coming to suffer or coming to reign. Christiana therefore went to the shepherds apart. Now the names of the shepherds were Knowledge, Experience, Watchful, and Sincere, and said unto them, There is one of my daughters that I think doth long for something that she hath seen in this house, and she thinks that she shall be unhappy if she should by you be denied. Call her, she shall assuredly have what we can help her to. So they called her and said to her, Mercy, what is that thing thou wouldst have? Then she blushed and said, The great glass that hangs up in the dining room. So Sincere ran and fetched it, and with a joyful consent it was given her. Then she bowed her head and gave thanks, and said, By this I know that I have obtained favor in your eyes. They also gave to the other young women such things as they desired, and to their husbands great praise, for that they joined with great heart to the slaying of giant Despair, and the destroying of Doubting Castle. About Christiana's neck the shepherds put a necklace, and so they did about the necks of her 4 daughters. Also they put earrings in their ears, and jewels on their foreheads. When they were minded to go hence, they let them go in peace, but gave not to them those certain cautions which before were given to Christian and his companion. The reason was, for that these had great heart to be their guide, who was one that was well acquainted with things, and so could give them their cautions more seasonably. That is, even then, when the danger was nigh, the approaching. What cautions Christian and his companion had received of the shepherds, they had also lost by that the time was come that they had need to put them in practice. Wherefore here was the advantage that this company had over the other. From hence they went on singing, and they said, Behold how fitly are the stages set for their relief that pilgrims are become, and how they us receive without one let, that make the other life our mark and home. What novelties they have, to us they give, that we, though pilgrims, joyful lives may live. They do upon us too such things bestow, that show we pilgrims are, wherever we go. When they were gone from the shepherds, they quickly came to the place where Christian met with one Turnaway, that dwelt in the town of apostasy. Wherefore of him Mr. Greatheart, their guide, did now put them in mind, saying, This is the place where Christian met with one Turnaway, who carried with him the character of his rebellion at his back. And this I have to say concerning this man, he would hearken to no counsel, but, once falling, persuasion could not stop him. When he came to the place where the cross and the sepulchre were, he did meet with one that bid him look there. But he gnashed with his teeth and stamped, and said he was resolved to go back to his own town. Before he came to the gate, he met with Evangelist, who offered to lay hands on him, to turn him into the way again. But this Turnaway resisted him, and having done much harm unto him, he got away over the wall, and so escaped his hand. Then they went on, and just at the place where Little Faith formerly was robbed, there stood a man with his sword drawn, and his face all bloody. Then said Mr. Greatheart, Who art thou? The man made answer, saying, I am one whose name is Valiant, for truth. I am a pilgrim, and am going to the celestial city. Now, as I was in my way, there were 3 men did beset me, and propounded unto me these 3 things, whether I would become one of them, or go back to the place from whence I came, or die upon the place. To the first I answered, I had been a true man a long season, and therefore it could not be expected that I should now cast in my lot with thieves. Then they demanded what I should say to the second. So I told them that the place from whence I came, had I not found it unsatisfactory, I had not forsaken at all, but finding it altogether unsuitable to me, and very unprofitable for me, I forsook it for this way. Then they asked me what I said to the third, and I told them my life cost more dear, far, than that I should lightly give it away. Besides, you have nothing to do thus to put things to my choice. Wherefore, at your peril, be it if you meddle. Then these 3, to wit, Wildhead, Inconsiderate, and Pragmatic, drew their weapons upon me, and I also drew upon them. So we fell to it, 1 against 3, for the space of above 3 hours. They have left upon me, as you see, some of the marks of their valor, and have also carried away with them some of mine. They are but just now gone. I suppose they might, as the saying is, hear your horse dash, and so they betook them to flight. And that's the end of the reading for today. Have a good day.